the shoes start going away entirely. So we're going to mostly observe this lady's shoe. The bottom of her shoe we'll call the hull of the ship, and then the top part, the grey part on the top of her shoe, could be the mast and the sails, because that's the kind of scale we're talking about. This lens, you know, obviously, you know, in full-scale life, there's nothing as tall as these human beings, but when we consider the shoe to be a boat, that makes sense. So I'm also going to point out what happens when people run around the running track on the bottom. The first thing you'll notice is they get covered up as far as almost their waist, and then by the time they get around here, they're almost concealed right up to their shoulders. And that's not just because of perspective, that's actually because of the grass. This grass is very well cut at the moment that I filmed this, but it's still taller than the plane of the running track, and it is adding a lot to obscuring the people as they run around the bottom of the track. When people first start to run around behind the grass, which begins about here, you can see that it almost looks like they're heading downhill, because they're up to their waist around this position, and then almost up to their shoulders by the time they're here. Now that's a lot of obfuscation over a flat surface. Zero curvature. Let's take a look. Boat is sailing away. Still see the white hull. You can still see the grey mast, and as you can see over here, people are up to their shoulders behind the grass. Look, waist high and getting up to their shoulders. That is more to do with the grass than perspective, but perspective is still a big part of it. Okay, let's pause her for a second now. We're just barely able to see the white. I'm not going to zoom in on this. We'll take a look at a few stills in a moment. Again, almost up to their waist at this point, but as she walks around, her shoes are now starting to go away. Just keep looking for those white flashes as she takes her steps. Still see it, but you're not seeing the very bottom of her shoes at this stage. You're just barely seeing some white. And eventually, her shoes will be completely obscured, even when she lifts them up to walk, as you can see with these guys as they run behind the grass at the end of the track. So her shoes are now gone, except for when she lifts her feet. Remarkable. There you go. Alright, here we are inside the photo editor. I'm just going to click through these images. I've zoomed in quite a bit. That's why the image resolution is a little pixelated, but we'll be able to determine if we're seeing her shoe or not with more clarity here. So this is, I've just taken a series of screenshots from the video, and I'll just click through it. So there's the first shot of her shoe, and again we're watching this shoe here. We'll also keep an eye on these runners as they run around the bottom end of the track. And just to remind you, this is the grass. It's a tightly cut football field, but nonetheless that grass is going to contribute quite significantly to blocking out the lower part of this image. And there's the next shot. So you can already see, if we look over here, this runner is up to his waist, concealed a lot by the grass. This guy too. Clicking on. Still see her shoe. We can still see her shoe. Again, we're still seeing the white shoe at the bottom of her leg there. Okay, two shoes, just barely, but quite a bit concealed. I think we're pretty much losing that shoe now. Legs only, except for the back of that shoe that's lifted. And you can definitely see that the bottom part of her legs, also known as her feet, are fully obscured by the angular resolution failing to resolve. Now as she goes around here, she's starting to get close to the grass. We're almost knee-high in concealment, and basically getting close to her waist here as she goes behind the grass. For the final shot, right up to her waist. So no doubt about it, this is ground-up obstruction due to angular resolution issues.